Welcome back as we continue our study of practical service procedures, beginning with how to work with the service valves. Again, it is important that you first understand the basic operation of a service valve. Service valves are convenient devices used, amongst other things, to allow the compressor to be isolated from the rest of the refrigeration system. It enables us to remove and replace the compressor without having to drain out the refrigerant from the whole system. As a rule, service valves are not used on small domestic installations, only on commercial units. You will need a valve ratchet to operate service valves. We do not recommend the use of other tools as they will damage the valve stem. To gain access to the valve stem, we have to remove the valve cover. The ratchet drive is selected that matches the square drive section. Typically, a service valve is double-seated. The front seat closes off flow between the compressor port and the line. The back seat closes off the compressor port to the gauge port. Winding the stem fully inward results in a front-seated situation, that is, closing the compressor port to the line. The gauge port, however, will be open. Turning the stem fully outward results in fully opening the compressor port to the line, but closing the opening to the gauge port. This position we call the back-seated position. Turning the stem inward by approximately 1 spindle turn results in both a compressor line open and gauge port open position. This we call mid-seated, which is the usual test position. During operation, the service valves must be kept in the back-seated position. Keep these practical tips in mind whenever you are working with service valves and test hoses. Always wipe clean the protection caps before removing them. Use clean cloth or paper toweling. Always wipe clean the valve stem before attempting to turn it. This will prevent any possibility of grit scoring the stem seals, which could result in leaks. Always ensure that the valve is fully back-seated before removing the gauge port cap to prevent loss of vapor. Fit the test hose immediately to reduce the chance of dirt or dust entering the system. Always replace covers immediately after removing the test hose connections. Always keep your test hoses sealed when not in use, using the convenient dummy spigots on the manifold. After the break, we shall describe a typical pressure test and leak detection procedure.